you're seeing stories that obviously cross a line that don't depict what you're talking about. And that's been going on long before you got in this business anyways. Back in the day when there were only 3 major state networks and a couple of independents. Only problem is you hear a lot more of it in more different ways. But it's still there. The hatred is there. When the time comes that you can go out here and tell me, okay, that overseas that the Jewish people and the Arabs are best friends, good luck trying to pull that one off. Ever heard of Holocaust, right? Not happening. Ever heard of the Nazis and the Jews battling it out in the concentration camps? Okay, that to me was very disgusting, and that's just one isolated example. Okay, what about all this ISIS stuff and all this terrorists? These people are trained killers. Where's the love and the hate there? There's a lot of hate. Where's the love there? And I know that we can. Right, exactly. That's my point. So, I mean, like I said, I would love to sit here and think that a lot of the key things that we're talking about, encouragement. Hey, listen, don't get me wrong. It's not all bad. That's why you have coaches, Xavier. Okay, that are father figures. I've had a lot of people in my life over the years, as you probably have too, that have even though they may not be your father, they're father figures that give you the guidance that you need to keep you on track. I've had a lot of those over the years, too. So I'm not saying it's all negative, but it's a tougher task. I can tell you about a half a dozen people over the years, maybe even more than that outside of my own father, that were every bit as father figures, that loved me for who I am and stood behind me no matter what, and good and bad. Not only were they not family members, but they were friends that came along later in the game. You know what I mean? And there's adopted mothers, you know what I mean, that I view as people that were there from day one. The only thing is they don't have the blood in them. So there are a lot of those individuals out there. I'm not painting this as a nasty, bloody picture because you're trying to promote all of the good, And I give you a lot of credit, and I'll give you as much time on this platform as you want to do that. It's not all bad out there, Xavier. It just isn't. Okay, but you see a lot of it out there because of the different ways that we talk about it. We got Twitter, okay? We have Facebook. What else do we have that advertises stuff?
Instagram, Snapchat,
right.
Lots of different social media
platforms.
Well,
I don't know anything about Snapchat. I probably don't care either, but, I'm with you. Instagram, I only take pictures out there once in a while. But they're out there. I'm not trying to downgrade the significance of those social media outlets. I'm not. But, yeah, there's a lot of – let's go over some of your key words, okay, Xavier, that I've underlined, okay? And I'll let you give me the definition of them. How's that sound, okay? All right, ready? Let's go ahead and play Webster's Dictionary and Thesaurus, okay? Let's give me your definition of self-esteem.
What I would describe self-esteem as is what you feel on the inside about yourself as a person.
Okay. Morale.
The character that you feel about yourself as a person.
Okay. Youth.
Youth. Can you say that for me one more time?
Yeah, youth. Y-O-U-T-H.
Youth, young person, a young person growing of age, a young person growing up to be an adult.
What about Encouragement Day? Is there a holiday for that?
Yes.
When is it?
The holiday in particular for this week was simply October the 20th. Now, here's what I do not know for a fact. I do not know if October the 20th is the specific day for Youth Empowerment Day, or if it is the third Sunday in the month of October. Because that can vary. That can vary a lot, depending on those situations. But what I do know is that it is one of those 2 days in particular. So it's either October the 20th of every year, or it's either the third Sunday of October in every year. I'll have a more definite answer for you on this when we discuss this a little further next week.
Okay, no problem. All right, nationwide.
everyone in a nation, everyone in a single country.
Right, good. I'm glad you didn't limit it to the United States. That's where I was going with it. Okay, so now I've just given you about a handful of keywords, right? Okay.
Yes.
And so how do you summarize the whole of what we just talked about based on those keywords?
I'm only going to summarize it like this. I'm here to spread my message. I understand that we can't reach everyone.
Right.
That's what I do. I understand that that's not a realistic thing.
Right.
But if there's some way that we can be positive, that if we can be positive and be beacons of light for hope and, just spread great positive vibes out there, that's why I wanted to come on and spread this message. I understand right now we're not going to be able to reach everyone with this message. I understand that us coming on this platform and having this conversation that we had tonight is not going to make everyone in this world all of a sudden decide, you know what, let me take that advice and let me start being that person. Let me stop being cruel to people. Let me stop treating people miserably. Let me stop being a terrible person to people. Let me stop doing bad things to people. I know that that's not realistic and that's not necessarily going to happen. But what it's not going to do is stop me from spreading the message. It's not going to stop me from doing that.
All right, I'm going to give you another word, and I want you to think for a moment about this word and tell me what you can get out of it. Seminar. Think for a minute.
When I think about a seminar, I think about a conference. I think about an event where there are discussions held about a particular topic or a group of topics where everyone comes together and it's a very in-depth conversation.
Okay. Well, I'll give you that, and I'll tell you what my interpretation of the word seminar is. Okay. A bunch of people go to a seminar, and if you reach one person, mission accomplished.
Yes, absolutely.
That's how I view a seminar. One person out of 100, mission accomplished. Now I'll tell you now if I give you another one, motivational speaker, what would be the first word that comes out of your mouth?
A person who motivates other people. Okay. That's the best way I can sum that up.
Well, you know what I think of it? BS. BS. How do you like that? You know why? Because these guys are getting paid a lot of money to BS you to think that you're going to do this. Do I think that? Because in the end, you know what? Take all the stuff that they got to offer, Xavier, but until you go out there and put it to practice, okay, it's one thing to have that little instantaneous effect. Go back on the street and you go back to your old way. I'm not saying that motivational speakers don't work, but I think a lot of it's a bunch of BS. That's just my opinion.
I understand where you're coming from with that. I definitely do understand where you're coming from with that. And some of the people who are motivational speakers, quote unquote, they do it simply because they know that they're going to get the money to do it.
Right.
They don't actually care necessarily about making sure that the message is spread. They don't care about seeing people do the right thing. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. I'm just giving you my clear-cut definition.
Oh, I'm asking you for it, and you're giving me what I ask you. But the one thing I'm going to do with you, and you know I've done this since I've known you about a year, have I or do I not challenge you to the highest limits?
You always do, and it's always very much appreciated.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't I do anything else? Because I treat you like my own son, okay? But that's what it's all about, challenging. I'm not some guy out here that's a professional here that lets another person carry their broadcast. I'll let you go ahead and come up with a substance, and I'll make sure that without any preparation that I've learned, although I do prepare for a lot of things, but I like to let my guests dictate where they can because I know how I would respond anyhow, because you have to be able to think fast and you have to be able to process things much quicker in this day and age. If you don't, you're in trouble. You understand?
Yes.
It's about stimulant. It's about stimulant response. You ever heard of the words STP, the letters STP? How do you associate STP?
Sexually transmitted disease. That's the first. Those are the first three words.
Maybe that's your version of that. What? Okay, well, sexually STP, not STD. STP.
Oh, STP.
Yeah.
The three words that come to my mind when it comes to STP are stopping the problem. Those are the three words that come to my mind with that.
Okay. Well, let me give you, I'll teach you a lesson here on national radio. And for all of our folks who are listening through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and wherever, we appreciate you joining us tonight. So here's a little bit of philosophical lesson. STP is what you put in an automobile called motor oil. My version of STP, folks, okay, is slow down, think, and proceed. And that should tie everything to what this conversation is. And that's how you should approach life, is slow down, think, and proceed, which is where you're able to put a bow on what you're talking about, which leads to all the other things that we talked about. That's what got me through college. That's what will get you through life, is what it will do. You understand where I'm coming from, Xavier?
I definitely do understand where you're coming from for that, because that's a method that I will say that I have used for myself over the past few years as well.
Slow down, think, and proceed. You do that. You're very good at it. But I think your message is noble and fine. Do I think sometimes it's easier said than done? Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to try. But there's so many extenuating circumstances. They are what they are. But we can always try. And if you're willing to go out there and make a difference, more power to you. I'm behind you 100% in what you're attempting to accomplish. Believe me, I am. Any closing thoughts about this subject?
No, what I will say is, for our listeners out there, we will have more of an extended conversation on this topic next week, and we will also have a critique of the song that it is that Scott would like for me to listen to from Martina McBride. Scott, can you say that one more time?
Absolutely, Xavier McKnight. Concrete Angel. Look it up on YouTube.
Concrete Angel. Yeah. Concrete Angel, ladies and gentlemen. So tune in next week for my critique of Concrete Angel. And, just judging based on the conversation that we're having here tonight, how Scott has already described the song, I can just about guarantee you right now that I'm going to have some pretty candid thoughts about this, because I am going to go back and I'm going to watch this over and over and over again, right, if I have to really get the message across that I want to get across to myself and then get across to others when I deliver my critique when it comes to this song, no matter how painful this may be to watch.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know anything about Joker at all, but if you're telling me a lot of people have walked out on that movie because it's really tough for them to deal with, I get it, and that's fine. I mean, sometimes certain things are a lot stronger, and mentally it's hard to comprehend those. I mean, there's so many things nowadays that are stronger to comprehend. But believe me, and I'm telling you, when you listen to this song, you don't listen to the lyrics. There are visuals of this song, so you'll understand the overwhelming impact for which this song is meant to send a message. But child abuse is something you don't take lightly, and I think you'll get a steady diet of that when you watch Concrete Angel. So, we bring it to you here on The Real and the Rare. My name is Scott Morganroth, along with Xavier McKnight. We are broadcasting on the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network. So, any final thoughts, Xavier McKnight, before we sign off for the night?
Well, once again, as always, Scott, thank you for allowing me on this platform just to share my thoughts on these candid conversations it is that we're having. And what I'll say to everyone right now as well, just as a tune into for tomorrow with what we'll be doing on the Sports Exchange, I'll have more further thoughts on the New York Jets and other sports topics. You can still catch us having our daily sports debates with our sports content as well throughout the week, but it's very important that we use this platform here in particular to discuss real life issues and things that people are going through on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes it can even be us, and we may not even know it because we haven't had those types of conversations necessarily. But it's important that we discuss these issues. And what's even more important to me is that somehow, some way, if we can try to come up with some type of solution to these issues, and it's like Scott said, just reach one person, we're doing what we're supposed to do as humans and doing what we're supposed to do as people.
Well, and let me also say this. Yeah, you're right. I enjoy having you on the Sports Exchange on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but we're going to also throw another wrinkle into The Real and the Rare, and Xavier McKnight and I are going to debut our first show where you get to talk about Monday Night Football. How does that sound? So we give you a little bit of sports one night, and then we give you these issues on another night. So it provides you with the versatility that you need to get the message across. So, again,